What's up guys, John here again, and yes, week 2 of the Daily Grind. If you don't know what the Daily Grind is, it is our live vlog show, news, whatever you want to call it. It's you, me, and a cup of coffee. So, let's get on with this. Yeah, if you want to say anything to us, obviously you can do in the chat. I'm going to jump straight into this because it's a fairly slow news day, but this first story was quite amusing. Obviously, last week was pretty much dominated by Fallout 4 news. Yeah, obviously Bethesda let everyone know that it was phenomenally successful. I think it was like they got like 200% sales on what New Vegas was. They claimed 12 million units shifted. I think that was 12 million sold through to retailers. So what the actual numbers are, we don't know. It's not set. I don't think they've said what actual sales were, but they did say it was like 750 million made in the first day. So fairly successful, I think. But all that was not really what I found most amusing. What I found most amusing was the fact that it actually it made a dent in PornHub's search throughs. Yeah, you've probably been seeing this float around for the last couple of days, but apparently the release of Fallout 4 had an effect on PornHub. There was a 10% drop in users on PornHub on day one of Fallout 4, which I just find hilarious. Obviously, it shows who the market demographic is for PornHub. Fallout 4 users. But to kind of coincide with that, obviously the first mods we had for Fallout 4 were inevitably the nude mods. They are starting to filter in some kind of more kind of useful ones. I think there's already some lighting ones. I don't think they've done the EMVs yet, but then again, last time I looked was 2 days ago, so they probably are now. But there's some lighting mods. I did see a really kind of cute story that somebody modded in their own dog. So they replaced dog meat with their own dog, which was really quite cute. But yes, obviously the whole of last week was dominated by Fallout 4, and I know tons of people are playing it. I think actually Fran is playing it at the moment over on her Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Jagras. So once you're done with this, if you want to go across and see her, she's probably playing Fallout 4 at the moment. But yes, I just found that really amusing that PornHub suffered a loss in profits because of Fallout 4. Moving on, what was next up on my list? Oh yeah, I don't know if you caught Fran's vlog on Saturday, but there was a something of a in real life ARG going on with Binding of Isaac. And basically, ever since Binding of Isaac came out, well, the Afterbirth expansion, Edmund McMillan and the guys at Nicholas have been hinting that there was secrets buried in the game, but you wouldn't be able to find them by hacking into the code. Previously on Rebirth, they had basically they'd hidden the Lost in there. But it got data mined within 109 hours, and this is where this mythical 109 hours thing has come in. But in Afterbirth, Edmund didn't want that to happen again. So what they did was this kind of real life ARG where people actually started to discover clues, and it related to stuff happening in the real world. Obviously, Fran does a better job of explaining it all, so I will leave a link down below, and you'll be able to click through and find the full story. It was quite interesting how they went about it, and it's really new. Well, probably not unique, but it's kind of the biggest publicised one I've seen of like an ARG linking through to a game and all that kind of thing. Oh, we've got a couple of people watching. Say hello. Yeah, so if you click through, you will see Fran's vlog on the whole discovery of the Keeper in Binding of Isaac, which was really cool how they did it. All these little clues seeded around everywhere. Moving on, what have we got next? Oh yeah, SteamOS. Last week, I think it was Ars Technica did a kind of comparison between SteamOS and Windows 10 and discovered that it was actually SteamOS isn't actually a great performer compared to Windows 10. Windows 10 performs significantly better in several games. So you've got Middle-earth there, Shadows of Mordor, and as you can see, the frame rates are significantly better on Windows 10 than they are on SteamOS. Some people are saying this may be down to optimization. SteamOS hasn't got the drivers sorted yet, but it shows that this big push, and obviously we had the release of the Steam Control and the Steam boxes and the Steam Link and all that last week. Personally, I don't know many people using SteamOS. It's not had the kind of market penetration that I'm thinking Valve would have wanted, but it is interesting to see where they lauded that it was going to be better for gamers everywhere. SteamOS was going to be a big improvement, showing that it's still not better than Windows. Windows is significantly better. So if you are one of these ones that dual boot and that, and consider dual booting, Windows and SteamOS for your games and that, evidently Windows is probably good enough. It may be. I think they did do some early comparisons a while ago when the kind of beta version of SteamOS came out, and they did comparisons between Windows 8 and SteamOS, and there was kind of a negligible difference. But Windows 10, since its launch, obviously it's had several patches in that, has shown to be better at the job. Oh, right, we've got somebody talking in the chat. Came here for the stunt, and glad I did. Oh, thank you very much. Yes, I think Jazz retweeted. Yes, so hi, Brenna. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to be doing this every day. Yeah, the daily grind is me, you, and a cup of coffee and whatever is happening in the news. It is a fairly slow news day. I mean, a lot of these stories are actually from last week. There were a couple of bits and pieces that came out today. Let me see if I've got the next one queued up. Yeah, I got this press release this morning. Apparently, Koch Media have done a deal with Codemasters. Koch Media, if you don't recognise the name, you will recognise some of their games. Koch Media are the kind of the parent company behind Deep Silver. So obviously Deep Silver, now owners of the Saints Row franchise and Metro and things like that. But have done a deal with Codemasters. It's kind of a co-publishing distribution type thing, specifically for Europe, Middle East, and Africa. That kind of EMEA region. But it's I found that interesting because Codemasters of recent last couple of years, Codemasters have been doing a lot of stuff working with indie developers. They're almost becoming like a specialist publisher. A bit like Devolver, they're starting to work with a lot of indies to help get their name out there. And the fact that Koch Media are getting involved now means that we could actually see more indies on consoles rather than just Steam releases and things like that. So Codemasters, I think, are working with they've done Escapist, they're doing Panarium. There was the blind girl one, Beyond Eyes or something like that. They're working with a lot of these kind of quite cool little indies, and the fact that Koch Media are getting involved now means they'll probably actually be getting out to a wider audience. I'm not quite sure what the co-publishing thing is going to be, but I inevitably think we'll start to see kind of more indies, as well as obviously Codemasters' own products on kind of a wider distribution. So I found that quite an interesting news story. One of the few stories we've actually had today. As I say, a lot of this stuff is from last week because it's been a slow news day and not a lot of news. Another thing I found, Endless Legend. I couldn't find an appropriate picture, I'm sorry. Endless Legend has come out and said they've got a new update hitting, I think it's today or next couple of days. This new update will be it's a free update to anybody who already owns Endless Legend, but it will give them access to new areas. But more importantly, it's got a new updates, so you actually have modding and Steam Workshop integration. and it's good to see this game. I think it's been going around for like a year now. It's still getting expansions. It's still getting updates, and the fact that we're working now with modding and workshop and that will probably give it even longer life. And kind of the Endless series has become kind of quite cool, because it kind of started with Dungeon of the Endless, and we've got Endless Legend and all that. So it's almost building up its own franchise, and the fact that it's got modding, anything with modding and that kind of support is always a good thing. Well, almost always a good thing. As I said, we go back to the Fallout 4 with the nude mods, but yeah, you will inevitably have the slightly quirkier mods than that. What else have we got? Oh yeah, yep. Where's the next one? Yes. Indivisible. You may have seen Yaki did a first impressions on this a couple of weeks ago now. Indivisible is a party platformer action beat 'em up brawler type thing from the same developers as Skullgirls, and I still struggle with that. Skullgirls, not Schoolgirls. But it was working its way through Indiegogo, not Kickstarter, but Indiegogo, and it was looking for 1.5 million. At the time of when Yaki did his video, I said then it was kind of probably be a bit doubtful whether they'd be able to reach that 1.5 million mark. But last week they appealed to Indiegogo and managed to get a 20-day extension. So they've just passed the million mark, and they are heading towards. They've got 19 days, I think it is, to hit that 1.5. There's still a lot of interest. People that have played it have said it's fantastic. It really does need to get made. It just seems to be struggling to get its name out there. So here's just giving it a little bit of push. Yeah, it does look incredibly good. Even the prototype they showed off, because obviously Yaki played the PC version, but they also released a PSN version, which I think was the first time there's been a prototype on PSN. But yes, it's very cool that, well, not cool, but it's good to see that it's been given that last chance. Really, it's got another 19 days to try and get to its 1.5 million target, and honestly I think it probably will do now. It has got enough interest, as I say, with the PlayStation prototype available. More people are seeing it, and it does look like a cool project that does need to at least be given a chance. What else have we got? As I say, if you are in chat and you've seen any news stories, do interrupt me and let me know and send me a link, and I will check it out as we go. What else? What have I got next? Indivisible. Oh yeah, Battlefront. Obviously, Battlefront is out tomorrow. I think I actually had somebody tweet earlier to say, give my opinion on this new crop of reboots and remasters that are of old titles but are going in a different direction. Obviously Battlefront is kind of getting rid of the whole single player thing. We've not got kind of the big space battles that were in the old ones. Honestly, I think it's better to have these reboots, even if they've not got a lot of what was in the original. At least we're getting kind of cherished franchises brought back. So, I mean, the other big example at the moment is Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider obviously came out start of last week. It's the Rise of the Tomb Raider is an improvement on the original Tomb Raider reboot, because the biggest flaw people said that had was the fact it didn't have the tombs. Now we've got, with Rise of the Tomb Raider, they have actually put in the more tombs, and it feels a bit more like the original, but it's very true to the reboot, and people are still loving it. So I think it is a good thing to have these reboots and remasters. At least we've got the franchises back and they can be built on. Obviously we saw that with Tomb Raider. It's added in more of what people love from the originals, the actual tombs, exploring those tombs in an almost non-linear way, and them actually providing a challenge, a puzzle, and actually giving the audience what they want. So hopefully with the reboot of the Battlefront, we'll see how it actually pans out tomorrow. But I can see if EA and DICE do continue churning out the Battlefront games, which is inevitable with the new trilogy of films, I can see them maybe bringing in new stuff and bringing back old stuff from the original Battlefront, but we'll just have to wait and see. One thing with Battlefront is there's not been a lot of reviews. I mean, just before I went live, I did actually see Video Gamer's completely unbiased review, which was fantastic. It was Miller and Jim doing, what was it, Jim Bob and that. Yes, it goes to prove that EA's reviews are a bit dodgy in that, because I think they had one of these review events. I noticed on Polygon they said they got invited but they refused to go because it had weird restrictions. Obviously Battlefront hit EA's early access thing last week, so people have actually been able to play it for like 10 hours, but we've not had any proper reviews because there was these weird embargoes where you could do a preview but you couldn't have a scored review until I think it's 9 p.m. Pacific time tonight, so it's about 5 a.m. in the morning for us. So yeah, it's another one of those, we don't get the review until the day of launch, and they've already been selling hard the pre-orders and they buy the season pass and that. But that's EA for you, I suppose. Oh, we got a noob improves. It's commented, I'd rather have reboots happen under a new name. What's the point of a franchise if you can't pin it down to gameplay mechanics? True, yes. Yeah, I can completely agree with that. Yeah, if they'd call Battlefront maybe something different, but then they wouldn't have got the marketing off calling it Battlefront. But Star Wars carries its name anyway, so yeah, they probably could have got away with calling it something else. It would still have sold as a ton of units anyway, which it will do because it's EA's got their marketing machine behind it. It's got Disney obviously marketing Star Wars, so yes, maybe changing the name would do it. Yes, I can completely agree with that. What else? I don't know if I had any other news. As I said, it's been a fairly quiet day. I did notice there was what was it? Rollercoaster Tycoon has been pushed back yet again. If you've not been following this, Rollercoaster Tycoon World has been having a few issues. The beta came out a couple of weeks ago, something like that. People tried it and go, what the hell is this? This isn't Rollercoaster Tycoon. We have actually got access. I've not actually tried the beta yet, but from what I've been told, it's a janky piece of, well, it's a mess. And evidently they weren't going to hit their kind of goal of releasing, was it in 3 weeks time? I think it was kind of mid-December they were hoping to release. Yeah, evidently they're not going to manage that, and it's been pushed back to the undefined early 2016. So your guess is good to me. That could be basically up until June next year. So it's a bit clunky. It's a bit clunky, yes. So what else? Other little bits and pieces I've noticed in the news. Apparently Xenoblade Chronicles X for Wii U has had some censoring for the West. Apparently the Western version, so Europe and America, won't have the boob slider. Obviously, Xenoblade is a RPG, so you can customize your character. And apparently in the Japanese one, you could alter the boob size. So a bit like Saints Row. But apparently for the Western release, they've taken out that feature. So yeah, I'm not quite sure. As I say, I go from, PornHub, Fallout, nude mods at the start to this at the end. Yeah, it shows different companies, different strategies when it comes to how to do RPGs and customization. I don't think there has been a lot else today. Nintendo won some sort of piracy protection ruling. I think in Italy some company was selling devices that allowed hackers to place ROMs on Wii U hardware, so there's been some court ruling on that. But I think that's pretty much it for the news there. As I said, it's been a slow news day. Most of the headlines have been more Fallout hitting Pornhub's sales, well, not sales, but user traffic and things like that. Yeah, so that is pretty much it for the news. I mean, have you guys got any questions, thoughts, seen any news stories, little bits on Reddit, Twitter, whatever? Do let me know in the comments. I will have a look in that. What's happening from us? As I said, do go check out Fran's vlog from Saturday. You will get to see her going through... No, wrong one. There we go. Going through the ARG stuff for Binding of Isaac Afterbirth. Also yesterday we had Trials Fusion. All of us failing miserably to ride bikes. I had troubles on the BMX, but Fran had real troubles because she picked the donkey. It was a very funny video. Do go check it out. I will put the link there once this video goes out. This evening, you will get to see my YouTube video for, what was it, Universe Sandbox 2. Yeah, that was the choice the audience made. So that will be going out this evening. And if you're a Patreon patron, you will get to see Yaki's Knights of the Old Republic video, which I think he's having trouble uploading. He's had to go to work and leave it going. So whether it's uploaded or not by the time, this evening for patrons. But you will get it in advance of everybody else if you are Patreon patron, whether it's this evening or tomorrow or something like that. I will send out the link on Patreon for that. If you do want to support the show, obviously there is the Patreon link there. Essentially, obviously we do this for the love of it. The AdSense money is ridiculously low. God knows what YouTube's doing with its whole YouTube Red subscriptions thing. We'll have to find out what that's like by the end of the month. So stuff like Patreon does actually help us out. If you want to just give us $1 for a month, that does help us out more than the ads would. But if you don't want to give us any money, but you do want to help out the channel in some other way, the biggest thing you can obviously do is, if you're not already subscribed, you can subscribe yourself. If you are, and you think you know somebody that might like the show, might like the Let's Plays we do, the vlogs, this, reviews, the co-op stuff, let your friends know. That would be the biggest thing anyone can actually do for us, is actually to share the videos and help get our name out there to people. Yeah, what else we got this week? I think I will be doing something on Hard West for Wednesday. I literally, just before I went live with this, I was checking my emails and I had the code come through for that. So hopefully I'm going to be able to get that running, and that will be my first impressions for Wednesday. Later in the week, obviously, Fran will be doing Heroes of the Storm as usual on a Friday, and there'll be another vlog on Saturday. I think Yaki's going to have another go at trying to do the Hearthstone expansion, single player expansion. Was it League of Explorers? He did try and do the ones last week, the first wing and that. The video did go up, but his capture was really wonky, so I suppose no, sorry, it's just too low quality. So I think he's going to have another crack, try and get the settings right on his capture software. So you'll be able to see that hopefully tail end of the week, probably Thursday. But yeah, is there anything else you want to see from us? I know for Fran's next YouTubes, especially with the whole Afterbirth thing and the fact that the two games she's obsessed with at the moment are Fallout 4 and Binding of Isaac. So for her next YouTube's video, she's actually going to be doing Binding of Isaac. She'll do a run, but the choice of what character is yours. So if you want to pick out which character you want Fran to play as in a run, I don't know whether it's going to be a kind of standard run or daily or agreed run or whatever. Well, it can't be daily because then you can't pick. But yes, if you want to pick which character Fran plays on Binding of Isaac, let us know. I will be doing the trailer and hopefully that'll go up later this evening. So you can click on the poll in that, or let us know in the comments, or you can let us know in the comments for this. Anything else? No, I think that is it for today. If you have any questions, obviously you can get in touch with us in the comments, or if you want to get in touch on Facebook, it's facebook.com/thekilobits, or you can get us on Twitter @thekilobits. I've been John. This has been the Daily Grind. Do let us know if there's anything you want me to talk about tomorrow, and I will see you at 3:30 tomorrow.